Chris was injured, actually it was 30 years ago this year. And it occurred as she was riding her bike over to her girlfriend's house. She was hit by a small minibus.
I was riding my bike after I got home from school to my girlfriend's house. And I came to an intersection with a hedge of bushes, and the driver didn't see me.
There were paramedics there who revived her and transferred her to the hospital. She was at the acute care hospital for 2 weeks and then transferred to the Rehabilitation Institute. She was in a coma for 3 months, and she also experienced damage to her trachea and had tracheal stenosis. So the two factors together were very serious, and it amounted to frequent transfers between the Rehabilitation Institute of Chicago and Children's Memorial to treat the tracheal problem. When she was released, this was in 1981, so this was really at the very beginning of people surviving brain injuries. So we were linked with outpatient therapy. Chris was 12 years old at the time, and she was referred back to school and therapy, and to continue at Children's Memorial for treatment of the tracheal stenosis. So people were hopeful, the treatment team. They wanted us to continue to work with her in normalizing her life as much as possible, attending school, having some sorts of cognitive stimulation, speech therapy, and then of course medical care to make sure that her trachea, what would happen with the trachea if she developed a respiratory problem, it caused lack of oxygen to the brain, which as we know can increase brain damage.
My brother was only 10 years old, and my parents were at my side at the hospital, and I felt like I was stealing the spotlight.
You know, obviously there's a lot of changes. It you know, obviously took a lot more of our time, you know, devoted to you know, helping Chris, which, you know, I'm sure affected our son. Yeah, there certainly are positive things that come out of all of it too. So.
Right. I think that in terms of the whole family dynamic, I think most families, you know, as we did, you're planning to just have kids, enjoy watching them grow up, and, you know, the typical milestones, you know, graduations and team sports and the prom and those sorts of things. And Chris lost a lot of those things. Our son did not. He, you know, was able to participate in many of those normal childhood experiences. And actually my memory is that my husband did spend quite a bit of extra time with our son once Chris got home from the hospital with sports and his music lessons. I did spend quite a bit of time with Chris, but once again, I'm the mom and she's the daughter. So we after she got home from the hospital, we were trying to get the family back in balance again. But when something this significant happens, you know, it's very difficult to keep things to be the way you thought they were going to be.
I just try to look ahead and not look back or care about what other people think.
You do develop some strengths. Clearly, if somebody would have told me the day before our daughter's accident that this was going to happen, I would say, oh, I wouldn't be able to deal with it, I wouldn't be able to handle it, and you do. You know, you just get the strength to get through it. And family and friends help you too. You get a lot of support, and the professionals help you as well.
And the family is all together, including the son, his wife, the grandkids.
Yeah.
So
even at this point, you know, we're still a family. So our own version of the family.
Yes, listen to the therapist, even though you don't want to. Trust me, you won't need them later on, and you'll be able to function better.
Yeah, the first thing, and this isn't meant as criticism of the initial hospital that Chris was transferred to immediately after her accident, but it was clear that they were dealing with something that they were not familiar with. And things may have changed. You know, maybe most hospitals are quite familiar with a serious brain injury, but clearly they were not. And they recognized that, and they had Chris transferred to some place that was familiar with it. You know, which as a family, that's quite a relief. You know, when you're dealing with doctors and therapists and a team that understands the issues, is able to explain what's going on, can give you some idea of what to expect, and most importantly, can help you develop a plan and a strategy for, you know, how you move forward. So.
Right. Yeah, I think the most important thing is that, as you would do with any health problem, find out where is the center of excellence in your community, or even if you have to drive a distance to get there, but go and just get another opinion, and or to get some advice, some help. Sometimes you can just even phone, and there'll be somebody who can talk with you. And usually that's one of the teaching hospitals, or you know, one of the major hospitals in the city that you live in.